Yes, editing is good.
Say something else.
I'm not liking these rolls so far, though. There's
Oh, my rolls are shit.
Just a quick recap from what I recall from the first session. Upper Manhattan at a place called Small's Paradise. It's a speakeasy, and as you were ushered into the speakeasy itself, you were sat at a table where there was another gentleman already seated at the table. Made sure that he let you guys know that the seat next to him was reserved for someone else. He looked very nervous and anxious for some reason. And during the night, the band playing a lot of jazz music was kicking off. And then a gentleman by the name of Leroy Turner entered the room near your table, and everybody noticed a strange, unique trumpet he was carrying. However, Leroy got onto the stage and with the band and began to play a new tune, which they called the Deadman Stomp. The patrons were very lively and getting into the tune, dancing, and our investigators from the corner of their eye saw a small statued figure walking towards their general direction. At first, he stopped near the bar and did nothing. But towards the peak of the song, where the trumpet and the mesmerizing sounds the trumpet was bringing out, the man stepped forward, removed a gun that he was hiding from his jacket, walked up to Manusco and shot him point blank into the head, killing him instantly, and immediately began to walk away, giving our investigators very little time to react to what has happened. Alex and Perry and Ursula, I all got a little bit of the blood splatter from the gunshot. Alex failed a sanity roll, as well as her intelligence check, which, lucky for her, was probably better than actually passing. And she sat there stunned. Ursula, with a little bit of disdain and disgust, stood up and started cleaning what she could off her dress. And Jesse was still standing at the back, a little bit perplexed as to what is happening, while Perry decided to attempt to follow the mysterious gunman. And this is where we start our session, where we've got two simultaneous events in progress. Perry, as you stand to stand up from your seat to, try and follow the gunman, the waitress who was bringing out your meals and your drinks, she makes it to the table. Looking at Ursula and Perry standing up and looking a little bit confused, but notices Ursula trying to clean something off her dress. It doesn't look, I mean, at first she thought it was sort of like ketchup or something like that, but there wasn't any delivered to the table at that time. And then she looked at the table and she realizes that there's a man, Minusco, slumped on the table, blood still pouring out from the wound, soaking the table sheet with his blood. And it dawns on her what has happened. As at that point, she screams. Alex quickly acts and ushers the waitress away to one of the back offices in the building, in an attempt to calm her down. However, her initial scream draws the attention of other patrons sort of in your general vicinity, and as they look, some of them stand up and they react to the situation, feeling a little bit uneasy. Some have already began to freak out. Some are already making their way out of the building, which Perry, as they're moving, they sort of, I wouldn't say that they kind of hamper your ability to get quickly to the gentleman leaving the building. You quickly do a dex roll for me, please.
Regular difficulty. That's a failure, I think.
Okay,
Yes.
so you kind of get, as people are standing up and trying to either get a look at the situation or getting away, they kind of just hamper your ability to move to the crowd, allowing our gunmen to have a fairly easier path to get towards the same entry or exit point that you all entered in. Ursula, Jesse, what are you guys doing at this point in time with this all happening?
I would probably scream up against the wall and then want to be as far away from this situation as possible. So I'm going to run over and grab a hold of Miss Ursula and try to pull her gently towards the exit. And I'm going to say, we need to get out of here now.
Okay. The room, like with all the people running and stuff, are they like bumping into us also? Like, do we feel them bumping into us as they're running to try to get out?
Yeah, look, I mean, at this point in time, there's only like probably, I suppose probably maybe close to 6 to 10 people in sort of the general vicinity. And some of them, yeah, they're getting in your way, whether they're trying to check out what's going on or realizing what the situation is and getting out.
Okay.
Which, Perry, this is allowing you to now move a little bit further to pursue the gunman if you wish, or if you're planning to do something else.
Yeah, no, I'll still be trying to like capture him for reasons like he's just committed murder, so I'll be trying to catch him.
Would the person I came in with, my professor friend, would he be in? If I look around, what do I roll to look around to see if he's still there? Like, do I yell for? I'm gonna yell for him and see if I can see him in the crowd.
I would say a spot hidden.
I failed my spot, so.
Okay, so with the fail of the spot hidden, just the amount of people that are around, you know where the professor went, the general direction, but you didn't really see what table he ended up sitting at. But at this time, the band is still playing, and I want you, Ursula and Jesse to roll a spot hidden.
Girl, we gonna die. Sorry. I always forget I'm muted. We're gonna roll. Alright. Come on. Oh! Yes. Ursula did
I
it.
got a 73.
It's okay.
Wait.
So, as you, Jesse, trying to the assessment of the situation and getting Ursula's attention and whatnot, you kind of look back at the table, and as you're doing that, as I mentioned earlier, the band is still playing, and the trumpet hits this amazing high pitch noise. And as the band keeps playing, Jesse, you swear you see Manusco's hand move.
Oh yeah. Ursula. I think we need
Yes, dear.
to go. I think Mr. Manusco might still be alive. Should we check on him?
She's just going to like look at her like she is like one of the stupidest people she's ever met. Like just like that look like
side eye.
literally have his brain matter on me. What do you mean he's still alive? Let's go. And then she'll just like
I think he's moving. I think he's moving.
she'll roll her eyes and ignore everything she's saying.
Okay. We quickly switch over to Perry. You are in pursuit of the gunman. Because he's got a little bit of a head start on you, he does kind of make it out to the door before you get there yourself, but you're not being hampered any further by crowds. Like, you can easily move your way and get yourself towards that same door. So by the time you get to the door, you see him probably just getting probably about halfway to the main exit or the main entrance at this stage.
Is there anyone else in that main entrance way?
You only see the two, there's the two bouncers that were inside who grabbed the one who tried to sneak in. And you also know the two bouncers at the door who were looking at tickets and initially checking dress codes.
I'm going to yell out at the bouncers to say to stop that guy because he just murdered somebody.
Okay. They look at you and they look at the gunman who's trying to quickly exit out after hearing what you've said, and they will
Grab the wrong gun.
stop at the door. Like the two that are probably sitting just outside, they kind of bring into the door, and I want to see if... Alright, we're going to see if our friend... will roll.
Ooh.
He got an extreme success on his dex. He kind of makes a beeline for the door. The bouncers on a roll the same dex as what they've got as our friend. They have to meet, and because there's two of them, I'm going to give them an advantage die, but this roll they have to meet an extreme success to at least force a reroll. No. Okay, so they kind of get to the door to try and block, and the gunman just slips out. I'm going to give him... Obviously, I am assuming you're still in pursuit as well.
Yeah, I'm still
Okay.
after him.
Okay. Have you, like, when you yelled this out, do you give them any identification to let them know that you're some sort of law enforcement or anything like that, or are you
Yeah,
just yelling it out generally?
I'll yell out that I'm a agent, federal agent, and that
Okay.
that man, I've just seen that man, you know, brutally murder somebody right
Yep.
in front of me.
Okay. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to enter in what is known as a chase scene. So I've already somewhat predetermined a couple of things. So for everybody, because this is the first one we're kind of running this, to set up a chase scene, this one is on foot. But a chase scene can consist of either an on-foot chase or it could be a vehicle chase. In this case, it's on foot. Perry, I've put in the chat a roll button that you can just click. You may see a red error pop up on your screen. That's normal.
Ooh.
Or,
Yeah, it says I don't have permission to update
Yeah.
the chat.
but I've got your roll. Okay, your roll came out as 80, which is a fail. On a failed roll, your movement speed goes down 1. So, if you look at your character
So
sheet,
I'll have a movement of 8 then.
you have a movement of 8. That's correct. Okay, so now I'm going to roll for our gunman. Because this will determine whether the pursuit will continue or not. Because you've rolled lower and your speed has rolled lower, if Joey or the gunman succeeds or gets an extreme success, the pursuit won't happen because he has a faster movement speed than you. So you're already going to be behind the 8 ball no matter what in this scenario. But you'll still be able to follow him out of the building. If he gets an extreme success, however, his movement speed increases by 1. Okay, he fails as well. So, what we're going to do. So the pursuit will continue. I will... now what happens is we go on normal combat where Dex determines who goes first. And looking at this information that I've got in front of me, Joey has a higher dex at 80. Perry, you have a dex of 75.
Yes.
So his first movement is going to, once again, he's managed to slip by the bouncers at the door. He's trying to get away. You can clearly know he's trying to get away. Obviously, with you calling out to the bouncers, obviously he knows he's been spotted, so he's trying to get out there as quickly as he can.
All right, well, I'm going to draw out my revolver,
Okay.
identify myself as an FBI agent,
Okay.
and tell him to stop, to freeze. And I think that pretty much I'll take aim, but I won't do anything else past that.
All right. Well, he's already outside the door, moving his way down outside of that alleyway. You can ready your weapon if you wish.
Pretty much I'd be, so tell him to stop. FBI. Yeah.
He's not going to listen, obviously, but you still will be able to do your movement, so you can move.
Yeah,
whichever square you like to move to.
Yeah, I've pretty much put myself in a position where I can see him. I've got cover, and I can, when the time comes, take a shot if I needed to,
Okay.
or duck out of the way because he's taking a shot at me.
So I'll say you'll probably want to go, say, to that square. So I'm just going to roll a standard D100. If he gets 50 or below, he doesn't encounter anything. $69. Okay. All right. So what is going to happen is that he's heard you. He's gotten out the door. He's got his head looking at the bouncers just to make sure that he has sort of made his way sort of safely, I guess. And the moment he turns his head, he sees like a small group of people. So he is going to roll for dodge, just to see if he can get out of their way. $87. So he fails. So he sort of turned around, and the moment he's turned around, he's sort of hitting square up with the line of people that were ready to go in.
All right, so I'd move towards him more.
Yep.
And yell out to everyone to get down.
Okay.
And tell him to, freeze, pretty much.
Okay.
And if he doesn't, I'm going to take a shot.
All right. Your vision, you've literally just gotten to the door. The bouncers are still sort of unsure of what to do. They've heard you to say, get out of the way. So they're in two minds, because obviously their job is to make sure that people come in and out, but they've heard you. So they give you a little bit of a wider berth to easily come through the door. One of them will move around to sort of stop the crowds coming in. He's clearly not going to stop. he is going to get away as fast as he can.
Well, since he's not a bang law officer, I'm going to take a shot at him to
Alright.
make him stop.
Okay. You can see him, but there are bouncers and there are other people around.
Disadvantage.
So
Shush you.
well, I was
He accidentally shoots Alex in the leg.
I'm going to say you are going to need at least a hard success to hit him because of the bouncers and the crowd.
All right, I'm going to roll and see what happens.
Oh shit.
All right. Roll the damage.
So he takes 3 points of damage.
Takes
And then
three.
I re-announce that I'm an FBI agent. Stop, or I will shoot again.
Okay. So he takes the 3. At you firing, the crowd and the bouncers are in shock. Some of them are starting to already scream. Some of them are ducking for cover. The bouncers are going inside. They won't have an opportunity to close the door just yet. That will happen the next round. So they will have to move inside first.
I'll go through the door before they stop. Before they close it on me.
Okay, so we'll do that. So the moment you walk out the door, that door is closed.
Crap.
But it allows you. What are your intentions after walking out of the door, Perry?
I'm going to try to keep him within range of my pistol and just basically stop him, whether it be via him surrendering or me killing him.
So are you taking a shot this round, or you just walking out and?
Yeah, I'll take another shot.
Okay. Again, I'm going to say you're going to need a hard success because of the crowd. Okay.
So, what's that give me?
All right. This is not how I expected this to go, but from what I recall from hitting with a critical with a gun or with a firearm, that is, I think it's max damage. So whatever your
Which would be
weapon does,
10 points of damage.
yeah, you kill him.
All right. So, just because he's gone down, I don't know that he's actually dead yet. So I'm going to go up, pull out my handcuffs, handcuff him, and disarm him.
The shot that you hit, you could see that it critically wounded him. And the moment you cuff him and disarm him, you know that without immediate medical assistance, he is not going to survive.
I could, with my whole 1 point in medicine, attempt to heal him. Or, well, stem the blow of blood, I guess. Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, then yeah, roll your medicine check.
Yeah, had a feeling.
Yeah, look, as much as you're trying to stem the blood, you know that you hit, like looking at the wound even more, you know you hit a major artery here, and even at your best attempts, he's not going to make it. Actually, can you roll a listen check for me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing the gunfire's made me a little bit deaf.
Yeah, you don't quite make it out. You swear you heard a voice yelling out a name a couple of times. You don't quite make out what that name is. You hear shit, he's dead. And yeah, that's all you that's the only thing that you hear. It's come from what you can best guess halfway down the alleyway here.
Right, so I'd go through his pockets. While I'm doing this, I was thinking, silly boy, why the hell didn't you just stop? You know, it's just such a simple thing. Why don't they never just stop? So yeah, rifling through his pockets, taking any weapons and notes or whatever to try to work out, like, what? No, well, why did he kill this guy that was in the road, in the club?
Other than the weapon that he used to kill Minusko, you don't really find anything else other than, you know, maybe a few coins, you know, money and whatnot. Maybe a couple of, you know, a couple of dollar bills. You know, nothing that's going to sort of identify him as in like a wallet with his name or anything like that. But you would know that with this being like obviously some kind of hit that, you know, he's working for some kind of hired gun or you know, crime syndicate or something within the Harlem area.
All right, so I'd take the gun, and then I'd head back to the door, knock on the door, and tell them to call for a ambulance or a coroner, one of the two. We'll see which one gets there first.
All right. We will do that, and we will go back to Jesse and Ursula. So yeah, Jesse, you swear you saw Minusko's hand move. You let Ursula know, and you think, like, even though you kind of like a little bit freaked out, you kind of know from some of the biology classes that you've taken in the past that body spasms of a dead body are not unusual. And you know, as you're sort of getting in your calming, kind of like you're coming to terms with that, and you know, obviously Ursula reacting the way she's reacting, both of you look back at the table, and to your horror, your amazement, the body slowly is pulling themselves up to an upright sitting position. The eyes are clearly rolled up. Of course, you know, the exit wound, there's blood and whatnot still coming from the forehead. You can clearly see the hole in the head. And even more astonishing, he slowly stands up. First of all, roll a listen roll, both of you, please. And as he stands up, he starts moving towards the door.
Ooh. Oh,
I got an 8.
yeah. She passed, I failed.
Okay, so with everything that is going on, clearly, Jesse, you're still distracted by the scenario, like just trying to put everything together, looking for the professor, trying to get Ursula to get out. Ursula, you hear the word Joey, and Minusko heads towards the main door. The initial patrons that were yelling, the ones that actually stood around to see what's going on, they also see this, and more screams are being heard throughout the building. And as the screams are happening, more and more people are starting to turn around to see what is going on, and they just see this body just shambling towards the door with a big hole in their head and blood and stuff like that still protruding out. I want both Jesse and Ursula to roll a sanity roll, because to you this is not normal. You know that there is no way a dead body, particularly one that's been shot at point blank range, would be standing up and moving the way that it is moving.
Beth, I'm gonna grab a steak knife from the table and just like hold it in front of me.
Okay.
I have a weapon.
Well, you both pass your sanity roll, which is great. You don't lose any sanity for that.
Seeing Jesse grab the steak knife, I'm going to kind of shimmy behind her right quick and be just kind of peeking over her, this is not normal.
I told you.
That's what I'm gonna say. This is not normal.
I told you he was moving. He is walking now. Sweet Mary's ghost. Oh my god.
I don't want to hear it. Just stab him.
You want me to stab him? Oh. I passed my sanity. So I'm just gonna close one eye and just kind of put the knife I'm going to punch him, but just in the neck.
Okay, so you're going to have to at least attempt to move towards him. So he's probably already moved about that far.
You. I'm gonna punch the air because I'm kind of nervous, and then I'm gonna just slowly follow him, maybe 1 square away.
Okay.
Because the history in me
slowly following behind her,
just creeping, but because the history student in me just has to find out what the heck's going on here.
All right.
I just don't
this
want to
is-
be left alone, so I'm going with her.
Okay. So yeah, you still sort of, I guess, still in the general vicinity. It's starting to get a little bit more difficult to move around. Obviously, with more people realizing what's happening, there's more panic. Uh, you see a couple of things happen. First of all, the band stops playing, and everybody is starting to try and get out of the get out of the room. The main thing that you kind of see is you see a few figures sort of like surrounding someone as they're quickly moving outside of the building. You know, from I think it was Ursula that recognized this, that it was in the same area where the mayor was, so they're trying to get him out ASAP. The body is still moving towards the door, and as he does, he is just trampled by everybody trying to get out. Like at this point, everybody's just trying to get out. There's no, it's just panic stations all around. You see Monusco fall to the ground, being trampled by at least what you would deem the first wave of people trying to get out. And for that moment, you kind of think, well, that's got to be it, right? There's no way, like, he's gone down for a second time, like he's trampled, like with that amount of people. Surely there's no way that's the end of it. From behind yourself, Ursula, you feel a tap of the shoulder, and you see the band leader, Charlie, has stopped to just kind of talk to you. Leroy's already made a beeline for the, like, he's already made a beeline to try and get out. And yeah, he runs in and sort of taps you, and he looks at you and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean." And then he looks at you, and seeing the blood splatter on your dress, this is, "Oh my God, you hit! Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you fine? Are you fine? Do you need any help or anything like that?"
I'm gonna just like look at him and be like, "Why are you even talking to me right now?"
Because you look hit. We're just.
Do I hear any of that?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, this dead person walking there, and I shake my knife at the trampled Minusco. Keeps moving. We gotta go.
At this point, like, I'm going to start getting like irritated. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. There's a dead body. This dude was literally shot in front of us, and then he was supposed to die, and then he's up walking around, and it's all because of you and your stupid band and that stupid music. And then just like, she's going to like turn back to like Jesse. Sorry, forgot the name. Jesse, and be like, we have to go.
I don't think you're I think you're overestimating the power of jazz, Ursula, because I don't think that jazz is just going to make this person. Where's the man with the gun that was with us? We got to get him. Let's get out of here. I don't want to be here. And I'm going
He
to
probably got trampled by the crowd too, she says, annoyed.
So I'm going to try to steer around this table to get to that door. That's what I'm going to try and do.
The door
I'm going
you
to grab
came
onto
into,
her
or
arm.
something else?
Where I last saw Harry running for, which would be, I guess, the door I came into.
I'm going to grab onto her arm and like squeeze it tightly and like just not say anything, but just that squeeze, like, take me with you.
Holding my steak knife out. So I'm gonna go like that way if I'm allowed that much.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of brevity, like you're just trying to get out with the rest of the crowd. When you Harry, it's at this point, you kind of hear a ruckus coming from the other side of the door. You know that the music stopped, and then there's a ruckus, more screaming and such coming from the other side of that door. So you're kind of more down here with the body. But you can hear, I guess somewhat muffled screams coming from the inside of the building there. As not long, the door bursts open and a flood of people are starting to exit out of that door in hysterics, yelling, screaming. It's like, undead walking. People are yelling that. They're just, a lot of it just doesn't make sense between the yells and the screams. But you know that you've got not long before you probably be overwhelmed with the crowd that is coming out.
I'd probably attempt to drag like that thing there. Is that like a bench or basically something that I could drag the guy's body out of the way so they don't trample it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a so like a wall, if you will. So it's like a fence. It's fairly high up there. It's kind of a way so that at least the bouncers have some sort of control of the crowd that are trying to enter the building on a normal day. So yes, you will be able to drag yourself and the body behind here to relative safety. I'm not even going to get you to roll strength. I think you'll just move them, no problem. As the crowd starts.
Yeah, pretty much.
pouring out.
As I'd be doing that, I'm going, oh, so now they all start running. Fucking hell.
Okay. Jesse and Ursula, I would say, you will make your way out as well. So if you want to move yourselves to where you want to be, it's pandemonium. You both, make sure that each other gets out, and you will the moment you get around the corner, Harry, you will see Jesse and Ursula as they come through.
Mr. Mason, Mr. Mason. I'm shaking my knife. That man that got his head blown clean off of his body is walking around in there, shouting for some Joey person. You got to get in there and I don't know, double tap him or something. I don't know. Shoot him.
Wait a minute. He's had his head blown off and he's walking around talking?
With no head. Yeah, well, with eyeballs. Yeah.
He has a head, but you can see the hole, and he's in there walking and shouting for a Joey person.
Okay. That's definitely not normal. I wonder if this guy was Joey.
Oh, you just shot somebody in the street.
He wouldn't stop.
Did you check his wallets after you? Did you check his pockets after you killed him?
Well, all he's got is this, and I'll hold up the gun, and that's it. And it's just some.
Did you check all of his pockets? She says, like, confidently.
I mean, did we check Mr. Walken in their pockets? Should we?
He was walking. We don't want to die.
Are you an actual police officer, or are you just, part of this group? Oh, probably.
No, not a part of the mob. I am an FBI agent.
Do you have credentials?
Yes.
May I see them?
No.
Well, he's a part of the mob, Ursula. We gotta get going.
He has to be if he won't show us his credentials.
I show my credentials.
So what do we do now? I mean, he's still in there.
I mean, that sounds like a them problem, not a us problem.
Well, I'm sure we're going to be called in for questioning. How are we going to explain that the man just got up and walked off? And we were at his table.
Look, I don't know this man, so I have no issue. No, I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it again. No.
This is your job. What do you mean again? This happened before.
Again?
Well, not this exactly, but stuff has happened, and I took this assignment because I thought it would just be a nice, easy day, but I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, this looks easy, all right, she says under her breath.
Look, I was looking for someone that went missing. It's a simple little hide and seek game, but no, it's got to turn into walking dead bodies and.
Well, now we're all going to go missing because we have a dead body that is walking and you killed someone in the middle of the street. So she throws her hands up.
Is this man a gangster? I've heard about this. You know, if we're caught standing over his body, we're basically dead as well. We need to leave. You have a car? Do you have a car, Mr. Mason?
Yes, I do, but I didn't bring it because I was drinking.
So he
heavily.
comes here looking for a missing person
And
he
drink it.
wants to get drunk.
I
Like
No.
FBI agent. Okay.
You know,
That
it's
was- I
prohibition,
think that was a
Mr.
good
Mason.
one.
Yeah, you're an agent, and it's prohibition. You're gonna go. I don't think. Maybe we should find a. I don't think we're in
I'm
good
not
company.
that type of agent.
I don't think we're in good company either. I don't want to be around this type of people. And she starts to take a step forward, like she's going to walk away.
What type of people are you referring to?
She ignores his question, rolls his eyes, and takes another step forward.
Why? Why are you here? There's got to be a reason you're here, at the table. Were you supposed to meet with Mr. Minusco?
No, I was just out and about in town after I moved in, and some people told me this was a high class, fancy underground bar for me to come visit to because someone like me who's high class and profile like me, we don't have the luxury of being seen at lower establishments, she says, as she takes another step.
I imagine this might stain your reputation if you walk away, but we should probably at least clear this up so we can not have to deal with any unnecessary police force. Don't you think?
She stops for a second, turns around to look, she turns around to face all of them, and she's like, is there anyone left in the bar with the dead man walking? Just randomly says that out of nowhere.
I would say the amount of time while this conversation was happening, there's only a small trickle of people exiting out of the building now, but there's still at the main entrance down here. There's still a lot of people sort of either trying to get out or trying to get some kind of transport to go somewhere. It's still kind of very crowded. As soon as you get towards the streetway, and as that conversation is happening and the last trickle of people, you see out of the corner of your eye Manusco just walking out, and he's heading towards the street and still shambling. And as he's walking by, you all hear him say, "Joey, Joey." In the distance, you do start to hear police sirens.
That's the guy. That's the guy right there. That's the dead man walking. Let's go kill him.
Exactly. How the hell do you think we're gonna kill someone that's already dead?
Well, you're an FBI agent. You have a gun. Figure it out.
Guns only work on the living. I think.
Well, that nice fella on the stage was in there, talking to us. Maybe he had a better vantage point, or maybe someone in the restaurant could tell us what happened. I mean, the speakeasy. I don't know if following him is a good idea. You think?
What, the shambling corpse that's over there?
Or,
Why would we
or
follow him?
should we ask more about this Joey meetup?
Who's Joey? She just says, so confused. We need to find Joey. What is a Joey?
Oh, I know. I'm not gonna do this. About kangaroos. We're not.
I actually thought about a kangaroo as soon as I asked what is a Joey.
So as you're still having this conversation, the body makes it out to the street, and within seconds, the first squad car starts coming into view. You can probably see through the fence line here that Minusko walks into the middle of the street. And as soon as he walks into the middle of the street, into the road, the first squad car, realizing that there are people all over the street running in different directions, cars just going off in different directions, they see Minusko in the middle of the road, and they maneuver out of the way to avoid this figure walking in the middle of the road. The car begins to skid, and there is you can see with the car skidding that Minusko is somewhat caught on some part of the vehicle and is dragging him along. The squad car hits a lamppost and pins Minusko against it. At first, the body is still trying to move around, but within a few moments and a few seconds after the impact, you can see that the upper torso falls flat onto the hood of the vehicle, while the lower torso is still pinned to the lamppost, legs kicking frantically. And from where you're looking and watching this event happen, the body stops moving. The police obviously get out of the vehicle, obviously to inspect the body. One of the officers goes to the side of the road and throws up, while the other officer is trying to comprehend what has happened. A couple of more squad cars appear up and they sort of block the street and trying to calm the situation as best as they possibly can. But you can all see that that body is no longer moving.
I'm gonna go back to Mr. Mason. And, well, what do y'all think? We should go or should we stay? Should we find out more? I mean, I've got professors that would be very interested in what's happened here today.
would just like to remind everyone here, and she tries to whisper because she obviously heard the sirens pull up. She didn't see anything that happened because she was still in the alleyway, but she heard the commotion, right? Like the sirens and everything. Like, how much of that would she know about?
I mean, from your vantage point, you've seen the event. So you've seen the first squad car. You've seen it hit Manusco, pinning him against the lamppost after skidding and colliding with the
Okay.
lamppost. You've seen what appears to be blockages and officers trying to settle down. You know,
Okay.
at least to try and control the area somewhat. You know, it will be a matter of time before someone actually comes towards the building. You would assume that someone inside has already called the police. You don't know whether it was from Mason. You don't know whether it was from the events from inside, but you know that eventually they're going to be coming to go inside the building, possibly to question witnesses, things of that nature.
Okay. I would just like to remind everybody, she says, but she like kind of whispers it to like out of earshot of the people down in the street and stuff. We are at a legal speakeasy right now in the middle of one of the worst times in our history. None of us can afford to get in trouble right now, especially not a woman of your type, she says to Jesse.
This is true. Well, I have a good alibi while I was here. I wasn't drinking at all. I just had orange juice. So, but Mr. Mason, I mean, I can smell your breath. Just saying.
I have blood all over me. We need to go hide now, she says. She puts urgency on that. We need to go hide now.
I know a coffee shop down the way if you guys wanna. I mean, we've got to talk about. There's got to be a reason why they, you know. We need to stick together.
Okay, this guy died,
Very good, Mr. Mason. You are a private eye.
but he hasn't come back to life. That other guy died, but he did come back to life.
Yeah, but the cops killed him now, so it's okay. Let's go hide.
I don't need to hide. The bit I'm trying to get at is, why did that guy over there, after he died, come back, but this guy's still stone dead?
That's what I'm saying. There's got to be a reason, and maybe you can't hide, but I need to leave. So you, upon mistake, are coming with me, so that I can tell my professors what happened.
Probably not a good idea to be waving around a steak knife.
Well, maybe you can
Might want to put that away.
escort me this evening with Miss Ursula out, away from the dead corpse.
That's what I'm saying. You guys don't actually have to worry. I can just say that
let's
you're
go.
with me. And
Okay.
You are a drunk FBI agent. You probably doesn't even work for the FBI anymore. Let's go.
I am a... Yeah, okay. I was drunk.
We start walking.
Okay, so what?
I'm just saying, I hadn't drunken that much because 2 shots, 2 hits.
2 blocks down, Mr. Mason.
Walking and talking. I'm just saying, I haven't drunk that much.
Okay, so what I'm going to do at this time, with the amount of time this conversation has taken place, I'm going to do what is called a group luck roll.
Shit.
Who has the lowest luck?
I am also 55.
Where do you find the luck
Um,
at?
at-
Oh, wait.
At the top, you
Okay.
you see summarize on your sheet. You see a little summarize
Yeah,
button.
I'm at
Hit it.
58.
Ooh, you and me,
Okay.
Adam.
Yeah, do a D10, and whoever has the highest will have to do the roll.
Oh god. Okay, D10.
All right, Jesse, can you roll luck? This is going to determine as you
Oh!
that is a critical failure. You see, as you're sort of starting to walk and talk, you see a gentleman dressed very, very, very well. He's starting to walk up towards towards you all. Behind him are a couple of officers behind him. He stops and he sees obviously the down body that you're all standing around. He motions to the officers to go inside the building, which they do, and the guy walks up and he identifies himself as Roger Daniels. What are you all doing here?
Coffee? I'm going for coffee. Mr. Mason's coming with Mr. Mason. And I dropped the steak knife.
I identify myself as an as a bureau agent. Since it's that time period, they're not actually the Federal Bureau; they're just the bureau. Saying that I'm looking for a missing persons. When I was sitting with these lovely ladies, and that gentleman over there, which is handcuffed on the ground, came up and shot that gentleman over there, who's now laying on the thingo in the head. For some reason, that gentleman didn't stay alive. Oh, didn't stay dead, but this gentleman did. Past that, some fucked up shit going on tonight.
Mr. Mason, why are you telling a complete stranger all this?
Because he's a lawyer, he's an officer.
I don't know what's going on. I'm just here.
And then I go, can I please have my handcuffs back, please, off the other corpse?
What?
So Roger Daniels reaches into his pocket and pulls out his badge as well to show you that he is a federal agent as well. Do you showed him your badge, Perry?
Yep.
Okay. So he tends to take all this, is writing as much as he can down as it's happening. He's going to he knows you're telling the truth, or at least being as honest as you possibly can. Are you withholding any information, or like are you trying to deceive in any way? That might-
Well, I wouldn't be. I'd be sitting there saying like, look, because I've told him like we were all there, just sitting at the table, just about to enjoy our meal when that gentleman came over and shot that gentleman in the head. I chased this gentleman down, shot him after identifying myself. Basically, just rattle it all off like a police officer would to another police officer. Probably hiding the fact that I had a whiskey. But at the same time, not caring if the other guy could smell it on him.
And he looks towards you, Jesse, and you, Ursula, and is any of what Mr. Mason is saying is true? Can you confirm his story?
I'm going to like back up into Jessie a little bit, just like not push her, but just like press like the back of my body up against her just a tiny bit to like make sure that I'm in between her and the detective. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, all of it's true. Everything he said. That dude was supposed to be dead. He is not dead. A dude shot this dude, and yeah, that's what happened.
Jesse's just gonna nod, trying to keep like low profile.
Yeah, he obviously has taken a little bit more interest in you, Jesse. And seeing that you're feeling a little bit intimidated by the situation, sort of politely ask you again, is this what happened?
Everything Mr. Mason says is correct. I was with my professor. I don't know where he went, but yeah, that's what happened.
And what is your professor's name?
Professor Rice. I am a history student at the Miskatonic University. And
Oh, so you're out of town.
yes.
You all out of towners, or you actually live here in Harlem? I'm sure I would know if you were a local, Mr. Mason. And he looks towards Ursula. What about you? Are you also in town, or are you out of town?
I moved here a couple months ago, she says, still like making sure to keep herself in between the officer and Jesse.
Also, he will take down all of your residential details, where you're staying and things of that nature. So it's up to you whether you disclose the right information or not. But obviously, he will, at the mention of Professor Rice, as something that he would definitely follow up on. So he's just gonna see.
Ooh.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's obviously, with everything going around, he's obviously doing as much as he can, but he even though he badly failed, he's trying to understand. Like, the only thing that's really he's really not comprehending is the story of someone being shot and then standing up and walking out and all that kind of thing. But obviously, you can tell that he is sort of the lead guy on this one, and as well, I highly suggest that you all don't leave town anytime soon until this matter is resolved. And he then sort of walks up to over to the dead body and kind of lifts up the hat and looks it up and instantly sort of recognizes him and just under his breath, Joey Larson.
Did you just say Joey?
That's Joey.
Yes, he's one of the lackeys of a. We suspect he's a lackey of a alleged crime boss by the name of Bernardo.
Well, that man down there that y'all ran your cop car into, the one that came back to life, you know, that dude, he was yelling Joey after he came back to life.
Still find it very hard to believe that a dead man got back up and walked out.
Well, officer, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but we was here, we seen it happen, you was not, we know what happened. And she says, as she flips her hair a little bit, like,
please do not talk to me in that matter, ma'am, with all respect.
You know what? When my mom, she kills the chickens and she takes the head off and they run around for like a couple seconds after. That's what that was. Or maybe there's a scientific explanation to what happens, or you never know. Maybe a coroner or something. But I'm gonna be quiet.
The two officers that originally came in, one of them sort of gives Roger Daniels a bit of a whistle and come forward, and another two officers come up to where you all are, and Agent Daniels tells them to watch over the body until coroner or the ambulance comes. Perry, if you've got your keys, you're more than okay to undo the cuffs. He gives you that permission, but you can see that he. Did you take the gun? I can't remember. Did you take the gun, or did you? He will ask you politely for the gun.
Yeah, I'll hand him over the gun. Yeah, just hand him over the gun. But you would have, like, when I picked the gun up, I would have picked it up with like a handkerchief or something.
Yeah. So obviously, he takes it off with you and bag handed over by one of the other officers, and he puts that in there, and he says, "We may be in contact with you again if we have any more questions, but for now, you're all free to go." And he will walk inside. And so at this point, we will take a small break. All right. So after your encounter with Ancient Daniels, you were told you were free to go. So I guess the question is, what are your plans from here?
Ursula, you said that the music was affecting the undead?
I mean, I can't be certain. I just feel like the timing is weird. We seen that beautiful trumpet, and then all of a sudden a haunting melody plays. Everybody is excited and uppity and let's go. And then all of a sudden we're covered in blood. It doesn't make sense to me, and this is the only way I can rationalize what just happened.
Maybe we should talk to the man with the horn. What do you think, Mr. Mason?
The man that had the Louis Armstrong horn that was all like crinkly and stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Turner. That was his name.
Can't hurt.
That's okay. On your realization of trying to put two and two together, those who want to roll an intelligence roll. Okay. Perry with an extreme success and Ursula with a regular. Jesse, your belief and religion just doesn't allow you to comprehend that there is no way the things that you just witnessed could even be possible. Even being a student of history, there's nothing in the classes, textbooks, anything like that, that would even suggest, even if there was a legend or a myth of events like that, nothing, it just doesn't make sense to you. Ursula, do you have a cult, correct?
Yeah, I was about to mention that I do have a background in a cult. I have a lot of points in that.
Yep. So just based on your intelligence and your knowledge of the occult, especially with what you do, you would be somewhat aware that it is possible to raise the dead. You've probably read it in one of your however you've come across your occult background, whether it's just from just reading. I know you said that you did a lot of research in libraries. Even with your tarot readings and such like that, whether you believe it or not, or whether you just say these things to sell the story to your clients, you have a belief system that it might be possible for the dead to be resurrected in some shape or form. Perry, obviously, with your previous experiences, while while it probably didn't necessarily relate to the things that you have witnessed, you don't seem overly shocked or surprised. Like, to you, it's kind of like, okay, well, this has definitely happened. I have seen some shit myself recently that at the time I couldn't explain, but you know that the trumpet is unusual. Like, you've never seen a trumpet like Leroy's before. Maybe that is some sort of clue. You weren't actually there when MINUSCO rose. You were out, obviously, in pursuit of the gunman. But even your investigative skills would sort of put sort of something that is out of place to the events that are happening. It's kind of like, seems to you, it kind of seems like a big clue or a red flag for you. It's kind of like, is this related to what's going on or not?
How much, like, because we did mention the music and stuff and I brought it up, how much would I know, like, correlating the music exactly to, because, like, she has a feeling, but, like, I don't know, like, out of character, like, how much she would actually know about that.
I would say, in that case, if that is something that you feel your character is trying to put two and two together, roll a cult.
$72.
Yeah, so that's just a regular success. So you know that music is very important to many cultures, particularly at funerals. Music is always played at funerals. From ancient history, just reading in reading in the libraries, probably doing research for tarot, that um ancient cultures, as part of ceremonies, um would always have music playing, particularly at sacrifices and things like that. But in terms of putting the music to raising the dead, you you haven't come across anything that would actually link the two together. But like you said, just with the reading of the cards that you did prior to coming to Harlem, um, that there was a big potential event happening. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is what the cards and that particular reading that you did could be about. But you're not 100% sure, even though you did get a success.
Okay. I feel like we should go talk to the dude who had the trumpet.
What do you think, Mr. Mason?
Well, yeah, I think the trumpet's probably our best lead that we've got. But yeah, so yeah, does anyone know where this guy lives? Potentially.
I don't think I even seen him leave the speakeasy, she says, uncertain.
I mean, the band leader was behind us in there for a bit and asked if we were okay. So he might know.
I
Was
feel like we should all three go find him together.
but the band leader, was he a man of color or?
He was.
I think it'd probably be best if you go talk to him than me, because I find that when I start asking someone of color questions, they seem to not want to answer them.
I can totally see that about you, Mr. Mason. Yes.
Yes. Okay. You get to rub it in.
I don't think that has to do with anything that you think it does, she says.
It really doesn't. And I'll forget to find.
You try to go in through the main door, but you are quickly stopped by the police officers that are manning the door. I'm sorry, ma'am, but this is a crime scene now. You will not be able to enter this building. You need to move on your own way.
And I'm sure Mr. Mason heard that, so shrug my shoulders at him like I tried. And
I'm gonna go up to the officers and say, "Look, we would like to speak to the maitre d'. No, what was it? The band.
the band leader.
Unless you have been
Oh, was it?
tasked to this investigation, I would have to get clearance from my boss to let you in.
Knock yourself out."
We might be waiting a while. Maybe we should go get coffee and talk.
I'm gonna walk up to him, like go talk to him,
Oh Lord.
and I'm gonna be like,
Oh Lord.
we don't need to talk to him about anything to do with the investigation. I let him borrow something. He was supposed to return it to me tonight. He took off, and I need to get it back from him, and I don't know where he went. Is he inside?
Oh, she's trying to fast talk.
She's asking it in like a kind of sincere, like almost kind of pleading way, like just she's willing to say anything to just figure out where to find this dude or how to get a hold of him. So I guess in like a charmish type way, maybe. Do you need me to roll anything for that?
Yeah, roll persuade if that's what you're trying to do. Ma'am, while I understand your plea, please understand we're in the middle of a serious crime scene here. We just can't let anybody in. I don't know who is in there just yet. If you know this gentleman, I'm sure you'll be able to catch up with him later on, whether it's later on this evening or tomorrow. But I'm sorry, I can't leave my post.
She just kind of sighs, turns around, and walks back over here with Jesse. Like looking so defeated and just like unsure of herself.
Why don't we leave? And there's other ways to find a person besides just being at this door with this dead body.
We can always sneak in, she says, like perking up a little bit.
Not in that dress, Miss Ursula. You can't sneak in. No.
Please also remember there are 2 other police officers guarding the dead body, so
Probably listening right over us.
I'm kidding. She'll turn and like start to take a step towards this way.
Look, we can just try this out tomorrow. because it looks like we're not going to get anywhere tonight anyway. Because these guys they're going to keep all these people for questioning for ages. So,
Jesse, roll intelligence for me, please.
Oh Lord. Oh. Okay.
Okay. You would know, obviously, growing up where you grew up, that the African American community tends to live in kind of pocket areas, generally in the sort of more poorer areas. But if you are keen on trying to find either Charlie or Leroy, you would probably know that you could probably ask some questions around those sort of neighborhood areas if you want to.
Look, if you all want to come with me, Mr. Mason, Miss Ursula Savard, I could ask around and we could get some information on where they're living.
Well, I mean, I had completely forgotten that I was in a blood-soaked dress until you mentioned it, but now I'm feeling very disgusted and I just want to change clothes.
Well,
She'll
perhaps,
say, like, all of her energy's just gone at this point.
Mr. Mason, would you like to, or should we do this in the afternoon tomorrow?
yeah, whatever you suggest.
Jesse not really ever being asked to make a decision by these people. It's kind of odd. So she just stands there like, waiting.
Let's all go home and reconvene tomorrow. If we make it home, she says under her breath.
Did you decide if you're going to meet up, where you're going to meet up, and at what time?
At the coffee shop that they've been talking about all this time. That's where we're going to meet up tomorrow morning, about 9.
The donut
Yeah.
shop, so he'll probably be there early.
10 would work better for me, she says.
Okay, so as you all head out of this alleyway here into the main street, you will see out in the distance, you swear it looks like Leroy sort of running out to the. So if you come out to the street there, you'll see him sort of round the bend over here, sort of a quick disappear around the corner. And you kind of see like he's sort of staggering in a sense, and you see him sort of go around the corner and sort of bump it and sort of bounces off the wall a little bit and sort of staggers on and continues his way down the road.
Oh, I do believe he's inebriated. Should we follow him? We'll find out where he lives.
Wait a minute. Yeah, let's chase him down. That's the bloke we want to talk to, isn't it?
Let's not shoot him. Okay. Let's.
Okay, I'll shoot him, and you talk to him later.
Do not shoot him before we ask him questions or find out where he lives.
Shoot him so we can find out.
I just clutch my Bible and pray for patience. Then follow.
Okay, so you get about here where you can sort of figure out, like, again, there's still a lot of police cars and such around, and crowds and stuff like that. And the moment he goes around that corner and you get to that corner to try and see where he is, it's very difficult to pick him out from the crowd. But I'll get you all to roll a spot hidden for me, please.
Ooh! I know my people.
Ursula's still focusing on her dress and probably just wants to, get out of here. You don't really see anything, unless you want to push your roll and, like, you're trying to investigate a little bit more closer.
I'm good.
Yep. Jesse, you look down where you saw Leroy sort of bump the corner, and you get to see it just before Perry, but you both see a card or a piece of paper sitting there on the corner there.
I see the card. If I see the card, I'm going to pick the card up to read what's on the card. What's the card say?
All right, so you pick the card up and you see Morgan and Dupree Christian Funeral Home, serving families of African descent since 1851. You see the address there on the card.
I'm going to lean over his shoulder to look at it.
You see the same thing. You see the writing on the card, Morgan and Dupree.
Is there anything on the back?
I don't know. Flip it over.
I'm going to shout out to them staying where I'm at. What are you guys stopping for?
You flip it over, Perry, and you see 11 a.m. sharp. Bring your horn. New Orleans style.
Oh, maybe it's the music, or maybe that's the funeral. Maybe he's got a gig. You think that's where he's headed? Oh, we found something. Come here, Ursula.
She sighs and walks over slowly to them. What did you guys find? She says, annoyed.
We found a place he might be headed to.
A funeral home, she says, questioning, like a funeral home?
I mean, they need music too, don't they?
Haven't we dealt with enough death tonight? She says, just irritated. Ursula would grab the card out of Perry's hand right quick, flip it over, read the back of it, and see it says New Orleans style. And she would visibly panic. Her face would just kind of visibly panic, and she would be like, "That's the same style of music that they played at the speakeasy," and she just says it so soft and like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Saying,
You think it's the type of music? You think? What do you
I
think?
don't know if it's the type of music or what's going on, but there is something going on, and we have to be at this funeral home tomorrow.
All right, so we meet at the coffee shop in the morning, and then we'll head on down. What do you
10
think?
a.m. is not early enough to make it to the funeral home by 11. Let's meet at 9.
Yep. All right. 9 a.m. at the funeral home, or 10 a.m. at the funeral home, since it's meant to start at 11.
Oh my gosh, do you not listen? 9 a.m. at the coffee shop, and then we'll head to the funeral home.
Why don't we just head to the funeral home straight away? Just meet at the funeral home.
Because I need
Because
my donuts and
we got
coffee.
yeah, we gotta go to the Donut King, and then we gotta go and get to the. So we know we can't just show up there. We might get lost in the crowd or something. So we meet up there and we walk to the, you know.
Okay. Well, right. So
She has a point.
what's the address of this coffee shop?
I point 2 blocks down, and there's a huge sign that says like with a giant donut, kind of revolving, vintage like.
Okay. So there. Right. Okay. 9 a.m. sharp. There.
Might I ask a question, Mr. Mason? How long have you been in the bureau?
About 3 years.
Huh? And I walk away.
Follow behind her and walking away.
all right. So, for the sake of brevity, we'll just say you all go to wherever you're staying, whether it happens to be in the same hotels or different hotels. It wasn't really defined. You all have a reasonably good night's rest. Obviously, the events of the evening swimming in your head, trying to put together what exactly has happened. Ursula, what would you be doing when you get to your room before you go to sleep?
She would take off the dress that she's in and just like kind of throw in the corner and be like, "I'll deal with that later." She'll say that to herself because she talks to herself. That's a thing. And so she'll throw it to the corner and be like, "I'll deal with that later." She'll get in her night outfit, let her hair down, and like she'll just lay in bed and just think about stuff and then slowly drift off to sleep.
What about you, Perry? Once you get to your room, wherever you're staying, what do you do in prep for rest for the evening?
I'd open up a leather bound book and just start writing down like the night's events, like was the music the cause of the guy getting up? Question mark. Was it the horn? Question mark. Was it something else? Question mark. Why am I always finding myself in this shit? Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And then just so I don't forget stuff like that it was Joel and he was a mobster and the Malcone guy was what's his connection, and just writing everything down, but in a format that a police officer would do, like,
Yep.
just just sit there and nut it out, and probably take 1 or 2 shots from his flask, and then hang up his clothes, and then have a shower, go to bed.
All right. So as you're writing all of this down, just give me a quick intelligence roll. Yeah, good enough. You also remember Agent Daniels mentioning that Joey Larson was an alleged member of Bernardo's gang, which is the reason why you were in town. That was the name you were given by the lady in red before she left. That was the only name she gave you. And Jesse, what do you do before sleep?
Jesse will leave a note at the hotel desk to make sure the professor she went with was okay, and to contact her tomorrow evening if he's okay. Then she would cross-reference in her Bible resurrection and music, probably just come up with Lazarus and some stuff, and look in her school history book, trying to see if there's any history of this sort of thing happening, which I don't think she's gonna find much.
That's interesting.
Considering that the time period, I would probably cross-reference is it the glossary in the back? Looking up resurrection, music, and kind of like instruments, or no, probably music or resurrection, and seeing if there's any that meet in between, and just using the glossary, because I don't think she'd just know, you know.
Yeah, okay. Let's go with excuse me, history. I'll give you a bonus die because of education.
Okay.
But because you're looking at something Pacific through the glossary, I'm going to say you at least need a minimum hard success.
Oh, no.
Okay, so you got a regular.
Yeah.
No, actually, that's
It's
hard
too
success.
hard?
29.
Yeah.
There's not really much there. Again, similar to Ursula, you know that music plays a big part in all cultures of all varieties, especially both good and bad. Again, you kind of know that, again, cultures use music in their rituals, ceremonies, anything like that. I will say that your time with your mother, you do recall her once saying a phrase, sometimes music could wake the dead. But that's a common phrase. It's not only you've heard it from your mother, but you've heard it a few other times as well. But I don't know, it's just that seems to stick in your mind for whatever reason. And with that, you all go to sleep. I think this is where we will end the session for today.
Yeah, definitely went a different direction this time than we did last time. And knowing that, I think the storyteller did a very good job to reintroduce us back to the actual guy that we were meant to chase from the get-go.
I don't think you were supposed to kill him.